Hi, I'm Mike Seacotch here. I'm here to talk about the design and use of the Deuce potty trowel. These days we make three. We have the Deuce number 1, which is 6.5 inches tall, so it's about the minimum depth for a proper poop hole for a cat hole in the woods. It weighs 0.45 ounces, so it's incredibly light. That's about as much as this much water. And we have the Deuce number 2, which is the evolution of our original Deuce of Spades. This one's 7 inches long, and it weighs 0.6 ounces, which is about that much water. And finally we have the Deuce number 3. This one's 8 inches long, so this is the depth of a full depth cat hole, and it weighs 0.95 ounces, which is this much. That seems kind of academic, so my favorite way to show people just how light these are is this. Can't do that with your everyday poop trowel. Okay, obviously they're a sheet metal product. They've been bent into a curve for strength, and it goes, thinnest. So this is the lightest duty model for ultralight fanatics only. Medium, which is sort of the sweet spot for most backpackers. And then we have the heavy duty model, which is made out of the thickest material and is the largest. The basic strength idea behind these is very much like something you all know when you have a piece of paper, you curve it, and it gets quite a bit stronger. So that's the basic sort of engineering principle behind these. The other thing is they're made out of high strength aerospace grade 7075 T6 aluminum, and it's all US aluminum no matter where we make them. And that turns out to be pretty important. We take for granted that we can get products that are really strong. 7075 T6 aluminum that passes AMS. 4045 is something that anybody can get on the internet in the US, but other parts of the world that is absolutely not the case. So here's some of the stuff from ours, and you can see it has a lot of spring back. So this is a high yield strength material. Now this is a sheet metal part that came from China. It was also sold as 7075 T6, and I can tell you from experience that you can't get 7075 T6 high strength T6 in China unless you're a Chinese aerospace manufacturer. There's just no way you're going to get it, and sure enough, this is what this stuff does. So very low yield strength. This is not a high strength material. It's being sold as 7075 T6, but it's definitely not high strength 7075 T6. That has implications beyond just the strength. Our deuces are all tumbled. So they're put into these gigantic bins filled with abrasive material, chunks of it, hundreds of pounds, and they're thrown in there, and then the whole thing is agitated so that all of our edges are nice and smooth and round. This is not a sharp-edged product. It'll never cut you. If you don't have the high tensile strength, the high yield strength on these, though, what happens is you just end up beating the heck out of the thing. So if you see a sheet metal product and it's obvious it probably should have been tumbled, but you see in the comments on it that maybe it's got sharp edges, there's a good chance that the reason for that is because it can't be tumbled. It's a low strength material. Some of the other design features of the Deuce are it has 4 little tiny teeth right on the very front of it, so that as you're digging you can cut small roots, you can nick them, and then they can chop through with the rest of it. That was a nice little refinement we added a couple years ago. Then on this end it has a slightly wavy edge so that it increases the friction, so when you're pushing on it you don't have to just rely on the little notch right here. And then everything about the top is rounded. So as you're pushing, these are sheet metal. They're not going to cut you, but there is a limit to how much force you can use before they start to be uncomfortable. As you push on it, you don't have any hard edges that are trying to dig into you. And last but not least, you notice that the handle is very short and very flared right here. And the reason for that is because, first of all, when you're digging a poop hole, they're not very big around. You can make poop holes with these that are like just 4 inches across but 8 inches deep. It's a really dramatic cylindrical hole you can make with these, and having a short handle is very much a part of that. If it's a long handle, it bumps into the edge much more easily. The other thing is that it increases the strength dramatically. So we're not so much worried about the strength this way, it's the strength this way that we have to worry about, because all of these have the limitation of being the curved piece. So they're strongest this way, not that way. The very top has also been flared so that when it's in the dirt, you can pull it out more easily. And there's nothing special about that hole. And whenever you have a piece of backpacking equipment, there's always this interaction between the product and its features and how it's made and the technique that's used to make the most of it. So the Deuce actually has a really interesting and important feature. This thing has actually been designed to be used upside down. So you put it in your hand this way or like this, and you notice there's about twice as much area along this edge than there is along this edge. So as you're putting pressure on it, you actually are doubling the pressure into the ground. So you can dig and probe and bust up hard spots, hard dirt clods, extremely well with this trowel used upside down. And that's now very much a part of how the whole thing works. When you do that, it really ups the satisfaction of having one of these things. It really makes the thing so much nicer to use. So we have a lifetime warranty on our Deuce of Spades. Does that mean you can't break one? No. But if you do, send us a picture, and $3 postage in the US, and a brand new one's on its way. We'll even let you switch models if you want. That's something probably worth mentioning, is that sometimes the ground, it's just way too hard. There are places where you really shouldn't be trying to dig a poop hole, and sometimes you don't find that out until later. But I mean, I've run into ground where you need this. I mean, there really is dirt. You're not going to go anywhere without a pickaxe. And by the same token, there's rocks that you're not going to budge them without anything less than a crowbar, maybe even a pike. So you have to be a little bit judicious about exactly what battles you want to fight making these poop holes. And that's in direct trade for the super ultra lightness of these things. Last but not least, we make them in lots and lots of colors. This doesn't have to be a grudging purchase that where, I got to build, dig a poop hole, I need a trowel. These things are fun. It's really more like, picking out a lollipop. That's our philosophy. So all these different colors, just really cool piece of gear. Okay, let's go dig some holes.